Welcome back. You're watching Storyboard. The outspoken global CEO of FCB, Carter Murray, is often in news due to his opinions on various issues concerning the advertising industry. But apart from his take on the industry, we spoke to him about FCB's India expansion plans and growth plans. Let's take a look at this conversation.
Carter, welcome back to India.
It's great to see you again.
Yeah. So, last time we met, you had a new CEO. Now you have a new office, you have new clients. So let's go one by one. Your new CEO, and tell me, no longer new, but tell me how he's settling in.
Well, I think you know more than me in terms of the Indian market, but I'm very excited by what he's done. Yeah. No, but Rohit's really done a great job, I think, focusing on all the things we talked about last time, which is, you know, creativity and the importance of creativity. We've invested in the new offices. He's got some new business momentum going. So, you know, we had the scale as one of the larger agencies in the market, but I think he's added this impetus and drive and confidence and passion, which has created some exciting momentum for us in the market, which is great. And hats off to him and to Swati, who we brought on board as a creative partner.
Yeah, sure. Now, the big talking point between your last trip and this one is GSK. You know, it doesn't happen easily. A brand working with one agency for 80 years and then switches. So tell me that story.
Well, GSK is one of the top multinationals in the world, and Horlicks in India, as we all know, is an iconic brand. So I would say that win for us was pretty incredible in terms of momentum building. But I think it was building off the back of a lot of the good things that were happening at the agency. For me as a global CEO, I get nervous about it because it's a responsibility. Right. You know, it's great to have the news of the win, but you know, Horlicks is a loved brand in this country, and it's one of GSK's premier brands, and it's a massive responsibility. But the team are grabbing it with both hands. They're incredibly excited, and I think we're seeing some early progress, which is great.
And now, this trip to India, you've spent a few days in Delhi, and then you're in Bombay. So what have been your focus areas for this trip?
My focus here has been 3 or 4 things. I'm here for the business planning for 2018. So I've currently gone...
Can you plan for 2018? Can anybody do that anymore?
I think we can plan for 2018. Right. I've gone about 1.5 times around the world in 3 weeks. So my brain may be a little bit full from all the business planning.
Right.
But no, this is the time of year when I go and see the leadership teams and they talk to us about what's happening next year. So I'm here for that. I'm also spending time with clients. You know, we have some very important clients here, both for the network and for India, and it's important to go see them. I'm really proud of the fact that I've come to India, I think 7 or 8 times in the last 3 or 4 years, more than most global CEOs, because this market's so important. So it's seeing the clients, doing the business planning, doing some interviews to talk about the momentum in the agency, and spending time with the people here. I mean, it really starts and finishes with the talent in the agency.
You've met all your clients. What is the common thread of conversations you're having with them?
I think India is neck and neck, shoulder to shoulder with many countries in the world, in industry, in art, you know, in culture, in many different areas. In the marketing world, I think India is a little bit behind in digital. Right. Which is surprising. And I think a lot of clients now are starting to really want to make more advances in digital. So that's definitely a theme of discussion. I think integration in terms of getting, which is part of the digital discussion, they want to know how they can really do more integrated campaigns to drive their sales. There's obviously discussion about the economy. It's interesting coming here because the GDP is actually still pretty robust here compared to other countries in the world. I was just in Brazil, where GDP is at 1%, you know, below 1%. Next year it's projected at 1%. Right. India is still, on the global map, one of the exciting places for multinationals to invest and to believe in the future in.
When you say clients are talking about digital but not spending enough, why do you think that gap is there between the clients wanting to, appetite for digital and what, in your opinion, Indian clients should be?
There's several reasons. That could be a whole interview in itself. I do think the propensity to use TV because of its reach, right, and radio is something which has been effective, and so people are less inclined to move away from that here.
That must have been true of markets in the West
It
some
was.
years ago.
It was. And that's why I think what's going to happen, there'll be a tipping point in India when it comes to digital and marketing. I think, the other thing that we can see is, for instance, that when you talk about mobile phones, I think there is a whole segment of the population that you still don't have smartphones. So I do think when you look at the makeup of the country, the evolution of digital isn't as advanced. If you go to Korea, it's a completely different set of rules. Because the way that people are consuming the media is completely different. But I think as India continues to progress and advance, you're going to see that importance of digital move very, very quickly. And I think there's going to be a tipping point. And I want to make sure that Ulker, when we get to that tipping point, is in the driving seat and is the thought leader and actually the leader in delivery in that space.
Sure. I was going to come to that. Creating content for the small screen, for a handheld smartphone is very different from creating content for the large screen, the TV or films. And in India, we're suffering from a lack of creative ability to create for the small screen. How would you address that issue?
Well, that's another debate that goes on everywhere. One of the topics that I think people have gone too far with in some countries is that everything has to be digital now, and we have to be fully focused on how to do content on a small screen. I think you have to pause and look at history and look at the marketing mix to realize, when TV was invented, radio did not disappear. And I think you have channels that all have a role to play. I think really what mobile has done is shortened the attention span. So it's not so much the size of the screen as the amount of time that people are willing to take a branded message on a smaller screen. Right. We talked about 60 seconds. Now I think what you do when you think about the smaller screen is about doing much shorter form content. And that's the bigger challenge, not actually the fact that it's a different format. I think the timing of the format when you're trying to do film in 15 seconds, 5 seconds, is the big challenge that exists out there.
Here, if we start listing the number of agencies, ad agencies, the traditional agencies in India making money, it's a very small list. And imagine you've got a small list, and then you've got the threat from digital, and you've got the threat from consultants. It's a question that needs to be answered in India, which is why I would like you to help those CEOs navigate that answer.
For me, the question on consultancies is really trying to work out what the end benefit for the clients will be. I think what we're seeing is consultancies buying advertising agencies to get into the space. But when it comes to competing right now, I'm not seeing consultancies beat us in what we do. So the question is really, what's the end benefit to clients? I've said it on the record before, and I have a personal belief, what makes us different is our creativity. And I'm not just talking about creative directors, I'm talking about our creative culture. Clients come to us to find lateral solutions, those lateral leaps to their problems, business problems, not just marketing problems. And that's something that's very hard to replicate. In fact, clients struggle when they move that in-house. What will happen when these agencies move into the consultancy world?
So what will happen?
Well, I would say making predictions on that with too much rigor and force would be arrogant.
Right.
I would suspect the challenge will be a big cultural clash.
Right.
I also think the consultants may be setting themselves up for a fall in a sense, because what's happened in our industry is we've allowed procurement to really have a massive effect, a detrimental effect on our relationships with our marketing clients and our ability to really be as effective as we want to be in some cases. I think by buying into our world, they are also inviting those procurement discussions into their world, which they've avoided.
Right. Absolutely.
And so no one's talking about that. And again, you've asked for my opinions on the future. I think if the ad industry can keep a truly creative culture, if we can keep seeing the world and our creatives in particular, but through a different lens, to be able to solve problems with amazing creative ideas that give clients a competitive advantage, I think we have a very good chance of thriving in the future.
Right. Now, staying with this, the other threat is perhaps from the tech companies, the Googles, the Facebooks, and all of them getting to your space. You go to Cannes today, they are more visible than the ad agencies, perhaps, all these tech majors. So how do you view them? Are they your friends? Are they enemies? Frenemies is a word that is thrown about.
Within our world, for the media companies, I think it's a bigger challenge. For the advertising agencies and creativity, I don't think it's as much so. I think we're in very different businesses. But obviously on the media buying perspective, it becomes very complicated. Technology, these technology companies have moved so far with the technology. They need our creativity and they need our content to be able to really get the maximum value for customers, for clients, out of everything that they're doing. And so we saw that as an opportunity. We see it as an opportunity. We see it as because we focus on creativity and a creative culture, we have a very strong focus on actually taking what they're doing to make us better at what we do.
Okay, finally, get back to India. So next time you come here is going to be hopefully 3-4 months. But 1 year from now, what are the changes you'd like to see in India 1 year from now? Because you've seen some, shall we say, important corrections made to your FCB office in India, whether it's physical, whether it's people, whether it's clients. What would you like to see 1 year from now?
It's very different from last time I saw you.
Absolutely.
Last time we talked about change, bringing new people in. Now we're in a place of momentum. India scored, we do an employee survey of all 8,000 employees. We have about 90% response, so it's pretty amazing. India was one of the big winners this year in terms of momentum, the employees feeling good about where they're going. We have some great creative campaigns coming out of the door. We're winning quite a lot of new business. So I would say for me it's about momentum. It's about keeping the momentum going, continue to build on all the positive things that are happening here.
Thank you. All the best, Carter.
Thank you. Great to see you.
Tata Salt has launched its new campaign Sawal Kijiye Apne Namak Se to educate consumers about the quality of their salt and help them make well-informed decisions. The thought behind this 360-degree campaign is derived from the fact that though salt is a universal and one of the oldest seasonings, there is limited knowledge around the quality of salt and its impact on health. Let's take a look at this TVC.
Ready? मेरा टाटा नमक एकदम प्योर है।
कुछ भी। मेरा नमक भी प्योर है। मैं खुद की कसम खाती हूँ।
टेस्ट करके देखिए।
Of course.
क्या आपका नमक टाटा नमक जितना शुद्ध है? सवाल कीजिए अपने नमक से।
We are doing a bit of education, I would say, in a manner which we didn't want to be pedantic and boring. And I think we've just used a very simple device of, salt in a glass of water and how easy it is for a consumer to judge for themselves how pure and high quality the salt is. As a brand, we are already the market leader, and we've been for many years from the time we launched, but we still year on year keep gaining share. So, over the last year, we would have gained a percentage point, which is a very significant gain. And we believe that we can accelerate that and grow even faster on the back of giving a very tangible promise to the consumer.
With that, it's a wrap on Storyboard this week. You can catch all our content on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back same time next week. See you soon.